There was a place I always wanted to go. I didn't really know how to get there, or if it was a place anyone I knew would know. I couldn't really ask anyone for directions or advice on shortcuts along the way. I had a map with no GPS, but still, I knew I couldn't stay. I had to keep going. To where? I couldn't fully see. I just knew it was somewhere in between who I was and who I believed I could someday be. So I studied every day and worked late shifts through the night, saving every dollar until I had enough for my journey to take a flight. But my first trip was cut short after a few too many distractions, and I had to circle back without ever seeing any of my main attractions. A few years later, I attempted to leave again, promising myself this time would be different. And then I met him, the one who kept me so close. There was an unspoken rule I could never leave. So my dreams collected dust, and going to that place was no longer a thought I could believe. And then, after years of love and a loss of myself, a moment came again. A chance to hit the road and test just how far and wide the self-discovery could truly go. I hitched a ride with a few strangers, took on more night shifts in cities along the way. I told myself I'd keep going no matter what it took, ignoring the pit of loneliness growing deeper within me each day. But it pushed and it pulled and it gnawed, convincing me I could never do it on my own. This loneliness left me feeling like it didn't matter how hard I worked. My fate was always tied to a shipwrecked and going down. And right before I was going to head back to that place that loved to steal all the most joyful and hopeful parts of me, I fell to the ground and prayed on bended knee. I had made it to the end of myself, and faith was the only other place I had never tried to go. And it didn't happen in a moment or even overnight. It took years of detours and delayed flights. But I began to catch sight of the path. It was narrow and easy to miss, but so long as I kept close enough to the edge, I would always keep my own. An edge carved out by the shards of glass I broke along the way. An edge that reminds me how close I'll always be to keep going or to stay. Making it to the edge is where I found that place. It was no longer a destination or a dream, and there was no single route. Nothing was what it seemed. It wasn't even a place at all. It was a way of living, of being and believing, and of seeing not what was there, but where you could go when you allowed yourself to grow in faith. Welcome to Journey with Dr. J. No destination, just the journey.